There is a place that is spoken about only in whispers, a dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends, a place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view, but when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Ho, ho, ho. Hello and welcome. It's our holiday show. This is Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Dave Schrader. That kid over there, well, that cool kitten is Tim Dennis. Merry Christmas, Tim.
Merry Christmas, and I'm going to shoot my eye out.
No, don't do that, kid.
Oh, no?
Don't do that. I mean, we do have a Christmas show, Tim, and to show that we have a heart on Christmas Eve, we're going straight to the meaning of the holiday season. Our guest is Monica Black as we talk a demon-haunted land. Yeah, nothing sounds better on the holidays, right?
Well, I can think of a lot of things that sound better than that. But,
what?
Well, you don't want demon hauntings on Christmas, Dave. I mean,
well, sure you do. This is the strongest period of time for God to kick their ass.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the boys, that's you and me, we're going to take a look at a revelatory counter history of post-war Germany. I know you're thinking, post-war Germany, great. But not as a reborn democracy, kids. Right. We're going to be talking about a nation convulsed by apocalyptic visions, witchcraft trials, and supernatural obsessions. That's right. That's going to be our topic tomorrow with Monica Black. That's cool. Very cool. Very excited. Then next week, Tim, we're going to do a little bit of a flippity-floppiter. Normally, Wednesdays, we do our supernatural news. Thursdays, we have our guest. Well, next week, we've got a chance. We're going to be talking with Jay Wasley from the hit TV series Ghost Adventures, Tim.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah. Not sure if you're familiar with that little show, but it's got Zach Bagans.
No idea.
It's got it's got Aaron Goodwin.
Never heard of it.
Yep. Nope. It's got a young fellow by the name of Billy Tolley, and then what happened to my voice there? Tolley. And then Jay Wasley. So that's what's going on. It's pretty exciting stuff. Well, why, Dave? Why is Jay going to be on? Well, first of all, I think of the entire Ghost Adventures cast. We've had Nick on in the past. We've had Aaron Goodwin. We've had Zach. We've had Billy Tolley. But the one main member we've never had on the show, I don't believe, is Jay Wasley.
I don't think we have either.
That's what I just said. We've never had Jay Wasley.
You know who I don't think we've had on, Dave?
Who's that?
Of all the Ghost Adventures crew, I don't think we've had Jay Wasley on.
Is that right? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, why are we having him on? Well, I'm going to tell people here, Tim.
Why,
We're going to start off our supernatural news with this story. Discovery Plus has the greatest collection of paranormal and unexplained content on the planet, all under one roof. All your favorite shows are coming to Discovery Inc.'s new Discovery Plus streaming service beginning Monday, January 4th. The paranormal and unexplained genre hub on Discovery Plus will launch with nearly 3,000 episodes of paranormal programming in its extensive library, establishing the largest collection of paranormal content available to users anywhere in the world. At launch, the platform will have more than 100 series under its paranormal and unexplained banner, and nearly all of them will be available to binge from the beginning. For fans of the genre, this means that every episode of Ghost Adventures, that means every episode your buddy Darkness Radio Dave has been a part of, Tim, every episode is now available. Yeah. Every I just said that, every episode. The Dead Files, every episode. Paranormal Caught on Camera, you got it. How about Destination Fear? Yeah. Ghost Nation? Sure, why not? Portals to Hell? Oh, of course so. What about the Holzer Files? Oh, they're there too. Every episode of Season 1 and up through our first 6 episodes of Season 2. Also, Discovery Plus has searched out the most popular content found across the television spectrum, and subscribers will be able to stream additional hit titles, including Ghost Hunters and Ancient Aliens, Tim, all under the Discovery Plus banner. How cool is that?
Very cool.
Now, Dave, what does that have to do with Jay Wasley and Ghost Adventures and having him on? I'm glad you asked, Tim. At launch, 2 marquee specials are going to be released only on the Discovery Plus platform. Ghost Adventures, The Cecil Hotel, and Shock Doc's Amityville Horror House. One new series, Ghost Adventures Top 10, will have 8 one-hour episodes as will premiere on there. As the platform continuously rolls out the new content, the brand new series UFO Witness will be added on January 14th. Then there is the 2-hour special Shock Docs, The Exorcism of Roland Doe, and the new series Fright Club, which I'm a part of. You'll see me pop up on, I think, 2 or 3 episodes of Fright Club, which is Jack Osborne and the Ghost Brothers breaking down paranormal footage that they have and talking about it, and having special guests like moi pop in to discuss some of the footage. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be on there. And Discovery Plus is developing content with some of the biggest names in the horror genre, including a multi-project deal with director Eli Roth, and a supersized Ghostober celebration guaranteed to bring all the thrills and all the chills. Now, I glossed over it, but again, let's talk about this Ghost Adventure special. Why? Because this is huge, folks. The Cecil Hotel is a 2-hour special. Whether you like the Ghost Adventures show or not, whether you're intrigued with the paranormal or not, this is a must-see, because stationed along downtown Los Angeles' Main Street stands the infamous Cecil Hotel, with a checkered past beset by multiple suicides, murders, devil worshipping, and serial killers. Riddled with stories of paranormal activity, the historic building is the epitome of creepy. It's an inspiration for books, films, and even a full season of American Horror Story series. Now, for the first time ever, the Cecil Hotel is allowing cameras inside for an investigation of ghostly proportions. In this 2-hour special, Tim, pardon me, my voice is giving up on me, which isn't good. It's our first news story, and I might not be able to talk by the end of it. But nonetheless, the Ghost Adventures team, Zach, Aaron, Billy, and Jay Wasley. See the tie-in here, Tim?
I do see it, Dave. I do.
Yeah, they're going to begin their investigation, retracing the steps of the recent mysterious death of a young girl named Elisa Lamb, whose body was found in the hotel's water tower without any explanation as to how that may have happened. Her particular demise remains unsolved and bizarre in the weird elevator surveillance footage of Elisa that fueled an abundance of theories, including that of supernatural forces. So we're going to talk with Jay about his work on Ghost Adventures and what we can expect from the Cecil Hotel special 2-hour premiere that will only be seen on the new Discovery Plus platform. So that's why we have Jay Wasley joining us next Wednesday on the program. How cool is that?
Very.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim.
Huh?
Tim,
Yeah.
you know, we're coming into the end of 2020.
It's
been a weird year.
I was going to ask before you transition to the where you're going, or I was going to add to that little story of Discovery Plus, because I was made aware by our eagle-eared listeners and eagle-eyed listeners this weekend. They said, first of all, they said, Tim, I'm seeing Paranormal Night Shift all over my cable systems on demand. All of the episodes of Paranormal Night Shift have all of a sudden dropped on demand. And then I heard, Tim, all of Paranormal Night Shift's episodes have dropped on iTunes. And
Fancy. Why is that important, though, Tim? Remind me, Paranormal Night Shift, why would people want to tune into that show?
Because Richard Estep's on it?
No, he's on a bunch of other shows, but there was something specific about this series, Paranormal Night Shift. What was that, Tim? Do you remember?
It had slick graphics and really cool music and awesome production.
Well, there's that. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But more importantly, Timmy,
Well, I was on it too, but
say that part again, Tim.
Well, I was on it too.
You've got a TV show.
Yeah, I was on it too.
There you go.
So our wonderful audience had risen to the occasion and let me know that it was on different formats, and that this is what's really important about that. All of the episodes have been released at one time, so that's kind of a big wink, wink, nudge, nudge that Paranormal Night Shift is probably one of those programs that's going to be put on the Discovery Plus format. So you do have options here. You can either, if you want to see those episodes right now, you can either check, like with Xfinity, it's probably on demand right now, or you can purchase those episodes on iTunes or wherever you purchase your episodes, or you can wait and you can get it from Discovery Plus. It'll probably be on Discovery Plus.
Wait. Episodes of what, Tim?
Paranormal Night Shift, Dave.
Oh, you mean the TV series Paranormal Night Shift with Tim Dennis from Darkness Radio?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's out there. It's available. Check it out. Be a part of it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Now, could I bring the party down a little bit?
If you must, Dave, sure.
The end of the world has been predicted.
Oh, no.
To strike before Christmas.
Oh, come on. Really?
Well, 2020 is already kind of taken a poop on the universe. Why not just end the planet? I guess that's the thought. The end of the world has been predicted to strike within days as a rare astronomical event fuels a wild conspiracy online, Tim. So Monday was coincidentally the beginning of the winter solstice, and famed doomsday predictor Pastor Paul Begley believes it is all a recipe for disaster for life on Earth, Tim. He previously claimed it will be the closest that Jupiter and Saturn have been since 1623, and it won't even come that close again for another 500 years, just in time for our 515th anniversary, Tim.
Well, it's about time, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is rare, and it's going to be on the winter solstice, he said. It's going to take place on December 21st, Tim, 2020, that apocalyptic moment is going to take place. So this took place on Monday. Now the Mayans are now reorganizing and saying that this could certainly be the end of the world as we know it.
But Dave,
December
21st.
Yeah, that's when the stars aligned, ushering in the apocalyptic events of the end of the world, Tim.
But isn't that when it was supposed to happen?
Tim, patience. Good God. The prediction, which has not been backed up with any evidence, Tim, is centered around the Mayan calendar. You know, the one that ended on December 21st, 2012.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, eight years ago, this past Monday.
It expired like bad milk.
Yeah. December 21st, 2012 was regarded as the end date of a 5,126-year-long cycle in the Mesoamerican long count calendar, and festivities took place to commemorate the event in the countries that were part of the Mayan civilization. But some suggested that the date marked the apocalypse, with various theories ranging from the arrival of the next solar maximum and an interaction between Earth and the supermassive black hole, or a collision with a mythical planet named Nibiru. Now, strangely, some people agree with Mr. Begley on Twitter, Tim. I just want you to let this soak in, Tim. This is how close we are to the end of the world.
Okay.
One user wrote December 21st, 2020 equals December 21st, 2012 in the Mayan calendar. The world is going to end. Another added winter solstice, and Jupiter and Saturn are doing interesting things on December 21st. A third outright stated December 21st, 2020, the world as we know it officially ends. And a fourth said the end of the world is December 21st, 2020. Jupiter and Saturn are going to conjunct on that day, right in our view, Tim. We'll be able to see them conjunct. Perverts. I hope they wear protection. And it's the start of the winter solstice. Scholars from numerous disciplines previously dismissed predictions of cataclysmic events. And back in 2012, NASA said, newsflash, the world didn't end on December 21st, 2012. You've already probably figured that out for yourself.
Yeah.
Despite reports of an ancient Mayan prophecy, a mysterious planet on a collision course with Earth, or a reverse in Earth's rotation, we're still here.
Yeah, well,
Mayan experts are also revealing the theories claiming the long count calendar ended in 2012 misrepresented Mayan history and culture. Instead, the ancient civilization believed it marked the beginning of a new era. That's right. The swimsuit Sports Illustrated calendar time started officially December 21st, 2012. We went off the Mayan calendar and straight to the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated, Tim. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Thank God for that.
Mm-hmm. So the world ended, Tim. I'm sorry to be the one to report it to you, buddy, but here we sit, December 23rd, and it turns out 2020 is such a shithole that we even missed the end of the world, Tim. You and I missed it.
It kind of feels like the end of the world. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Maybe we transverse the numbers. Maybe it wasn't 2012. Maybe it was 2021. Maybe we're a whole year early.
You think that they were maybe dyslexic?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. We'll have this conversation again next December 23rd.
Yeah.
And see if the world ends again.
Yeah.
I just personally, I'm getting a little strung out by all these ends of the earth. It sucks, Tim, that it just keeps happening over and over again. And then somehow we're pushed into an alternate universe timeline. That's what people aren't realizing. The world ended. These people aren't wrong, Tim. Our consciousness just moved over one step.
It's like famed Blaine High School baseball coach Arlo Brunsberg once told me, "Hey, Dennis, if you keep swinging at the ball, eventually you'll make contact." And he wasn't wrong. It only took me 374 at-bats before I eventually got a single.
Were you talking to him through the door of a porta potty as he was having,
I was hiding in fear, Dave.
Poop or what?
I was hiding in fear. He was Austrian, Dave.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was very. I would hide in fear from him, Dave. I would hide in fear.
I don't believe that.
He was very, very forceful. He was a forceful man, Dave. He was an old school baseball coach.
Well, Tim, here's some good news now. Maybe the end of the world on December 21st, and it's all over now. And, as we record this episode, it's actually December 22nd, so we're really only a day into the end of the world, Tim. And I got to tell you, I miss it. But today, while you're listening to the show, folks, I am in the hospital having hernia surgery. And I want to tell you, this has been a weird thing for me. I developed this hernia, Tim, back in March. And they told me, don't have surgery. Not the aliens, Tim. Not Chupacabra or Bigfoot. Not the spirit world, but the doctors, like, you don't want to be here. Trust me, you do not want to be in the hospital having this surgery right now. It's not good. End of the world stuff. I'm like, really? Yeah. You want to just take care. So I've tried to take care of it. Well, progressively, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And I'm like in unbelievable pain.
Well, you know why, Dave? I mean, if you keep carrying Shane Pittman the way you are, I mean, your stomach's going to explode.
Wow.
So you got to have this surgery. I mean, it's just got to happen.
I picture him as my Yoda and me as the Luke in training for the paranormal. I just run around with the little fella on my shoulders. But
sorry, Shane. I had to, someone's got to take the shot. I mean,
so it hurts. I'm going in for surgery December 23rd. You guys are listening to the show. I could be alive. I could be dead. We don't know. If I'm dead, hey, it's been real. Thank you all for tuning in. Please follow the show with Tim Dennis and Jay Wasley, apparently. I don't know who's taking over.
You're not going to be dead. Come on now.
So I talked to listen, I got to laugh. I laugh, but I don't. Listen, you and I don't even know if you know this. We almost lost 2 friends to the same surgery within the last 2 years.
We did?
2 friends ended up in comas and almost died from this surgery, Tim.
What?
Yes, I swear to God. So I talked to my doctor, and I'm like, my doctor's great, Dr. Azar. Mm-hmm. And he's a lovely man who has amazing fashion sense and is always greeting me with a smile. And even when he asks me questions like, how many children do you have? Are you ever ashamed that you have that many children with so many women?
What?
I'm never offended because he is such a man that just wants to learn and understand everything. And he finds me fascinating and hilarious. So I'm willing to allow him to abuse me from time to time.
Huh.
Anyway, I said to him, listen, doc, this surgery. Oh, nothing to worry about. Nothing. I said, really, I've got 2 buddies, 2 friends that almost died. I'm not going to give their names on air because I don't know if they've made it public.
Right.
And he's like, what? Oh my God, that is horrible. No wonder you're nervous. Yeah, I would be too. But he's so charming and smiling through it. I still feel warmed by his charms, Tim. And then he goes, but you have to look at it this way. What are the odds of it happening again? Which kind of comforted me. And then I said, but, the other side of it, Doc, is things come in three. And he pulls his smile down and he looks at me and rubs his hand behind his head and he goes, oh, that is right. And then he breaks into another big smile. So that wasn't exactly the comfort I sought at that moment, Tim.
Oh, Doc Azar, come on.
Yeah. So, but he's a good guy. I love the guy. Seriously. He's a great doctor. He takes good care of me. He's so good that my ex-wife took our daughter to him recently because he's kind of our family doctor on this side, and she loves him so much. She's got her new husband seeing Dr. Azar as well. So our doctor has seen both of her husband's wieners.
Okay, but time out.
And we didn't even need to show it to him. We just felt the need to.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it's comforting. But let me throw this at you. How good are the relations right now between the ex-wife and her new husband? I mean, maybe there's a reason she's taking him to this doctor. Maybe she wants to get rid of him.
Dr. Azar's a good guy. I like him. He's good people. But I digress. So that's it. I'm in for surgery. Just keep me in your prayers and thoughts for a full and healthy recovery, folks. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I mean, there's going to be a couple billboards. I'm taking out some advertising on major radio and TV stations and posting on all my social media. But other than that, I barely can even mention this.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. But let's talk about a miracle. Let's talk about a happy thing, Tim, shall we?
Sure.
Pope Francis, your buddy Pope Francis, or as I like to call him, Frank.
That's amore. I love that guy.
He called for an investigation after a miracle occurred during a church service. And Tim, I think he's proved that my theory of the zombie apocalypse is probably coming true.
He's just humoring you before surgery. That's all that's happening here.
Yeah, just prepare your box of Twinkies. Because I'm going to need them by the end of this news story, Tim. Because when the Pope is seeing this stuff happen, zombie apocalypse is upon us. The pontiff, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, Pope Francis is easier to say, is the head of the Catholic Church and sovereign of the Vatican City-State. Born in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Don't cry for me, Argentina. You're supposed to be in Myrtle. That's all they wanted. Not much to ask for. That was the, again, Chicago Broadway performance of it.
Yep.
Pope Francis trained as a chemist and worked as a technician in a food science laboratory where he was inspired to join the Society of Jesus. He was ordained a Catholic priest in 1969, and from 1973 to 79 was Argentina's provincial superior of the Jesuits before he later became Archbishop of Buenos Aires. During his spell, though, journalist Mike Willesee revealed in his Blood of Christ documentary how something bizarre occurred in one of the churches. Mr. Willesee said a priest in Argentina reported what appeared to be a miraculous event, a communion wafer, Tim. Now, for people that do not know what a communion wafer is,
it's a host.
Sinners will see you in hell. A communion wafer.
It's a host. It's a host.
It's a little like a little styrofoam looking and tasting slab that they put in your mouth during communion. Eat of this, for this is the body of Christ. Then they give you a wine shooter to knock it down.
It's and this not is the blood a wine shooter.
What? It's a little shot glass.
It is not.
He's like, take a this is the body of a Christ. And to wash it down, please take a part of my wine shooter. That's what the Pope says. And you throw it down.
For the love of God, you're hurting
so
my head.
Pope Francis was well known here as Cardinal Bergoglio, Archbishop of Buenos Aires. Right? Okay. So when he heard that a communion host was said to have bled in one of his churches, he asked for a scientific investigation. The Australian reporter who passed away last year detailed how the events unfolded. He said, "This is the consecration, which turns bread and wine into the blood and flesh of Christ. That is what the Catholic Church teaches. The communion wafers, also known as hosts, are made simply from flour and water and styrofoam. They swallow the hosts in the belief that it will lead them to eternal life." Well, the miracle of Santa Maria happened in 1996 during a communion service. Peasant Alejandro handed out the hosts, or wafers, as normal, one per person. But during the Mass that day, one sacred host was not swallowed. Instead, it was discarded, left in a candlestick holder. And Mr. Willesee detailed how the events caused a storm in the religious community. Well, what about it? You're asking. Well, why would they dispose of it? Because when it was put on his tongue, it turned into a slab of human flesh. Zombie apocalypse. Turns out it began in 96, but the Pope, bishop at that time, beat it back in his submission to him.
No, Dave,
it's true.
No.
The priest's assistant returned a week later to dispose of it. She was shocked and hurried to Alejandro to give him the news that it had turned red. The unexpected transformation was quite simply a shock. The question, could this be a miracle? Could this be the blood of Jesus Christ? There's no evidence of the original wafer. According to the reports, local Dr. Ricardo Castanan Gomez was called upon in 1999 by the now Pope to investigate that evidence. He took the sample on October 5th, 1999, but the research was not completed until 2006. So I'm glad to see their hospitals take as long to get results back as mine does, Tim. Reportedly, the sample was sent by the treasurer to Forensic Analytical in San Francisco. The team was reportedly led by Dr. Frederick Zugaby, primary care physician and cardiologist in the Rockland County, New York area, who studied the sample without knowing the origin of the material. He concluded the sample was alive at the time it was collected. Then in his conclusive opinion on March 2005, Dr. Zugaby specified that the substance consisted of human blood, which contained intact white blood cells and living heart muscle from the left ventricular myocardium. In Christianity, the Eucharist, also known as the Holy Communion, is a Christian rite that is considered a sacrament in most churches. According to the New Testament, the rite was instituted by Jesus Christ during the Last Supper. During these moments, numerous Eucharistic miracles have been reported over the years, but in the case of the Santa Maria miracle of 1996, most agree that it is likely the host was simply swapped out for a piece of heart muscle in order to create a frenzy. Why do you have to poop on this amazing miracle? Why can't you just believe the zombie apocalypse began with the wafer turning into human flesh, Tim?
That's not
that makes
how
the
it
most
works,
sense.
Dave. That's not how it works.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Saying
the flesh of a Jesus Christ, please.
By you saying that, that's almost sacrilegious. That's you saying that Jesus is a zombie.
No, well, he did come back from the dead.
That's not the same thing. That's you're saying that Jesus Christ is a zombie. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just say that he has zombie tendencies.
That's what you said. Yeah. You said Jesus Christ
is a vegan zombie, from my understanding. Speaking of life after death, Tim.
No.
Man's claim that he was told the meaning of life. That's right. Christmas is here, Tim. I'm going to read a story about the meaning of life beheld unto a man during his near-death experience. This is a Christmas gift, Tim.
I'm supposed to believe this after you called Jesus Christ a zombie. Go ahead.
I did not.
Go ahead. You did.
I'm just reporting the news, buddy. I don't write the news. I just report it.
You just did.
A man who temporarily died believes he was given an insight into the meaning of life and now believes we are all interconnected beings who are a part of one gigantic organism. The meaning of life is one of life's biggest unanswered questions, and over the years, countless philosophers and great minds have pondered the question. But one man who suffered a traumatic near-death experience says he was told the answer. Writing on the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation, a man known only as Rob, because you can trust a Rob, Tim. If it was a Daryl, I might question it. If it was Larry, what have you been drinking, Larry? Just puff on this breathalyzer. That would be my thought. But it's Rob. Everybody believes in Rob.
I can hear the keyboards right now. Larry, Daryl, and Daryl are typing.
A man known only as Rob shared his account of when he was temporarily, albeit clinically, dead for a few minutes after suffering from a heart attack. Before he could be revived, Rob believes he caught a glimpse of the afterlife, where he was offered an insight as to what it means to be alive. He said that he spoke telepathically to unknown beings who revealed that all living things on the earth are connected. We're all giant Legos, Tim. Rob said that everything on earth is part of one being, and the planet itself is living. During his supposed encounter with the otherworldly beings, Rob said that he was told to pass on a message to the rest of humanity. He wrote, "I was told that time and space do not exist here. 1 second, 1 year, 1,000 years, they're all the same. I was told we all go back many times until we have learned what is needed to ascend to a higher state of being. We are all part of a greater being. He experiences what we experience. Turns out, Tim, I'm the baby toe of this being. Always getting stubbed. All things, the grass, the air, trees, everything is a living force. And is as much important to the creator as we are. It's all the force, Tim. The planet we live on is alive and should be as revered as human life. They told me they were unsure if my body could ever be revived. If it was, I should be willing to speak with those who would listen about what I had been told. I was told that I would experience things that would give me an opportunity to review how I had lived. But I was told all was forgiven. All spirit is eternal, and all can be redeemed. Tim, even you dirty, dirty sinner. While Rob believes his experience is proof of the afterlife, researchers state that the vivid vision is actually associated with a surge in brain activity as one dies. Blah. Phenomena. That's what it is. That's right. Have those doctors call me, and Tim and I will tell them it's supernatural phenomena.
So Rob's on a bad shroom trip, and he can be trusted, but...
Stop it. Stop it. So this guy, he died. He was told we're all connected, man. All of us, Tim, connected.
And the earth is breathing and living and spinning and is flat.
Right? Yeah.
And flat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to find out more about that in a couple of weeks, Tim.
Are we?
The flat earth theory is returning to Darkness Radio.
Is it really?
It is. We're going to talk about flat earth, Tim.
Oh, good.
Our buddy Chris Jericho said, Dave, you got to talk to this guy. And this guy wrote to us and buttered me up by saying he's a fan of the show.
Oh, come on.
But he's one of the big names in the flat earth theory world. Flat world, apparently, but he's one of them. So everybody, who am I to say no?
Everybody limber up your fingers. Get ready.
Right. But you know what, folks, go along for the ride. Let's have some fun. If you have questions or points about this not being a flat earth you'd like me to address with this guest, other than, you're stupid if you think it's flat. I need detail to kind of tell me something I can throw at this guy, because I don't know if people realize this, Tim. I come off hyper intelligent on television, but that's a TV show. I'm not a scientist, Tim. I just watched one on Gilligan's Island a lot. So if you have science and you have interesting science that I can bring to him, now I'm going to be honest with you. You could bring me the science. I'm going to throw it in his mind, shake it up a little bit, and make me a martini out of what he has to say. So email me, dave@darknessradio.com. Don't make it a huge, super long email where it all turns into just you interviewing the guy. But if you have a couple of one-off points, then let's do it. Let's have some fun. That's what I got to say, Tim. Let's have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Now, this story has been populating my news quite a bit. Everybody and their brother is sending this to me.
Okay.
So I figured I'd talk about the second part of the story nobody else is really covering.
All right.
Now, you've probably heard about the story published in The Guardian, which is a respectable newspaper in the UK, about the potential discovery of an alien signal from the Proxima Centauri system, the star closest to us. It's all over the news. Mm-hmm. NASA finds a radio signal coming at us, right?
Yeah.
The article and a companion piece in Scientific American noted that in April and May 2019, the Parkes telescope in Australia was listening to Proxima b, a red dwarf. This star is known to be active, and this listening was part of a stellar flare survey. Shane Smith, a student at Breakthrough Listen, a program privately funded by Yuri Milner to search for and find so-called technosignatures, or signals that indicate the existence of civilizations like ours, checked out the data, and he found an exceedingly curious narrow band emission needle sharp at 982.002 megahertz. The team inspected the data, confirmed its veracity, and named it BLC1. Now, that's an important part of the story, Tim. BLC1 stands for Breakthrough Listen Candidate 1. Okay?
Okay.
The name clearly identifies that it is a candidate, not a confirmed signal. Everyone, at Breakthrough Listen emphasized this, including Executive Director Pete Warden. Because of its profile, it's very unlikely the signal was produced by a natural but unknown cosmic source, but who knows? Nature often surprises us. One simple explanation is that the parks picked up a signal that originated on Earth. We use radio to communicate. Don't know if you know that, Tim. True. Look it up. It's in the dictionary and encyclopedia. And this could be terrestrial interference, and that's probably the most likely explanation. Maybe they were just beaming back Darkness Radio. Somebody was beaming. I could tell from Proximus B. They're writing in. They're just starting to get our episodes from season 1 and 2 now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Of Darkness Radio. Yeah. And they're like, I don't like the way that you flirted with your guest. I'm getting that stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to get that a lot because we were playful and cheeky with our female guests, and we stopped because we understood that it could be considered disrespectful, even though every one of the guests that you ever yelled at me about for being flirty with, loved it and has kept in touch with me since, and I've probably fathered children with them, but that's a sideline. Anyway,
who said I yelled at you for it? I didn't yell at you for it.
No, not you. Oh. No, not you. Audience would task me.
Okay.
You and I would be too flirty with audience, not listeners and audience, but guests from time to time. How dare we have fun on the show, Tim?
I'll have you know.
How dare we?
For a while, I had me a little sugar mama with Marie D. Jones.
A little while.
Had to break that all up because of the audience.
Nice going, audience. You took away Tim's love.
Yep.
All right. This goes on to say, let's take a closer look at the source. Astronomers have been paying a lot of attention to Proxima Centauri for years. It's the closest planetary system to Earth that we know of. And in 2016, a team of astronomers led by Guillaume Anglada Escuda announced the discovery of Proxima b, a planet 20% larger than Earth, orbiting its star every 11 days. What really matters to astronomers is that this planet is located in the habitable zone of its star, where liquid water could exist on the surface. But it's crucial to remember that we have not yet taken a picture of this exoplanet. We know of its existence only through the motion of its star. So all we have is an estimate of its mass and its orbit, and nothing else. Then in 2019, astronomers discovered another planet buried in the same data. They named it Proxima c. This planet is 7 times more massive than Earth. Stop fat shaming these planets, people. Come on.
They have lives too, and they have egos. And
massive? Can't we just say they're pleasantly plump versions of Earth? Yeah. They're Rubenesque versions.
They look good in a swimsuit.
That's right. Yeah. They could be a super Earth. See, that's a better term. Don't call it massive. It's 7 times more massive than Earth. Just, hey, it's like a super Earth or a mini Neptune. Either way, it sounds nicer.
Yeah.
Because if Tim came out dressed in an outfit that maybe was not flattering, and I went, dude, you look massive.
Oh, wow.
I'd be like, dude, you're a dick.
That would hurt me.
But if I said, you, buddy, you're a super Earth. Or better yet, buddy, hey, you're like a mini Neptune.
I would prefer the mini Neptune. A super Earth still is kind of hurtful.
But super Earth, that just sounds like, hey, you're much better than just an Earth. You're a super Earth, Tim. Yeah, just putting it out there. The idea of technology, advanced civilizations living around our nearest stellar neighbor is quite extraordinary, but currently we're left with more questions than answers, according to this article. Why was the signal detected only once over 30 hours in April and May? What are signal's characteristics? That is, its profile, strength, and modulation, and did it vary in frequency over 30 hours due to its motion with respect to us? Why didn't observers alert the scientific community immediately after its discovery so other people could confirm the signal? Of the 300 million exoplanets that could be habitable in our galaxy, I have children on 200 million of them, Tim.
Really?
But of the 300 million exoplanets that could be habitable in our galaxy, which is 200,000 light years across, it would be an astonishing coincidence for 2 civilizations, ours and one on Proxima B or C, to be using the same technology at the same time. Or is it? Maybe they got our signals and ordered from Acme like Wile E. Coyote, and they got the same stuff, Tim.
I'm wondering how Ancestry got to all those planets.
Now, this entire story that I just read to you goes in a little bit more in depth, and I'm going to include the article on darknessradio.com. Go to the news tab, click on it, because you can actually hear the entire thing I just read to you, but you could hear it in a delightful French accent by the author of this article, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Franck. Yeah, he speaks fluent English, but with some French accent. So you can hear that version of the story, or just listen to mine, whatever works. But I've got it up because, maybe somebody would like to know, in an alternate universe where Dave was French, what would he sound like? You can go listen to that story.
I think I will.
I do have some more distressing news, though.
Oh, no.
Tim, the Milky Way may be full of aliens.
My Milky Way is full of aliens?
Who annihilated themselves, according to a study. See, it went from ooh to, oh, God, really?
Dave, I only like the chocolate, the nougat, and the caramel. I don't want aliens in my Milky Way.
Should have one. No one can say for certain whether extraterrestrial civilizations exist, but one new study suggests the Milky Way is full of them, though many are probably dead, it says. Nice downer. The research, which can be read on AirXIV repository, was written by experts at the NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, California Institute of Technology, and Santiago High School in Corona, California. It uses the famous Drake equation and determined that intelligent life may have emerged some 8 billion years after the Milky Way formed. As we cannot assume a low probability of annihilation, it is possible that intelligent life elsewhere in the galaxy is still too young to be observed by us, the researchers wrote in one study. Therefore, our findings can imply that intelligent life may be common in the galaxy but is still young, supporting the optimistic aspect for the practice of search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, the experts who looked at where other civilizations may live in the universe, noting they are likely to reside on planets in the galactic habitable zone, places in the galaxy where there is an abundance of metals. This could be approximately 13,000 light years from the galactic center, the researchers noted. By comparison, the solar system and Earth are approximately 25,000 light years from the galactic center. A light year, which measures distance in space, is approximately 6 trillion miles, Tim, Jeez. Which is about the distance if you put every McRib that I've eaten since its release, end to end. That's about how long it is, 6 trillion miles.
It's not that far.
However, the researchers also noted the potential for self-annihilation because their depressing sons of bitches have been locked in too long since the pandemic, apparently. However, the researchers also noted the potential for self-annihilation in galactic intelligent life to be highly influential, suggesting any intelligent life may have already destroyed themselves. If intelligent life is likely to destroy themselves, it's not surprising that there's little or no intelligent life elsewhere, the researchers added. What is this guy saying? Though there is no explicit evidence that intelligent life will eventually annihilate themselves, the researchers cited research dating back to 1960s that progress in science and technology will inevitably lead to a complete destruction and biological degeneration. Some potential scenarios put forth by the researchers include war, climate change, and the development of biotechnology. And the last one to show the brink of the world falling apart is the removal of the McRib from McDonald's again, Tim. So, there you have it.
A couple of things hit me about that story. One, biological degeneration is a great album name. Two, if most of the aliens out in the universe are dead, it's okay if you hit them with your spaceship because they're dead already. And three, the Drake equation, isn't that started from the bottom, now we're here? That just is, I don't know. It's my thoughts.
Is that a reference to musician Drake?
Yeah.
See, I'm not a Drakette.
I'm not a Drakey.
Yeah. Hey, since it is the holidays, and I promised some holiday stories, that's how we're going to end today's episode. So stay tuned. In a little bit, I've got a couple of Parashares to share, including some Christmas stories. So you can gather around the old fireplace, Tim.
Oh.
And blaze it up. So the fireplace.
The fireplace.
A couple of paranormal Parashares, a couple of Parashares, and then some Christmas Parashares. How about that? But right now, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We've got more to discuss, more news, Tim. The world is breaking, and it seems, and we've got stories to report right here on Darkness Radio. All right, welcome back to the program. This is Darkness Radio, your home for the best in paranormal talk radio for 15 years. Thank you for tuning in and spending time with Tim and I. I don't know why else, and I sound like Rockbiter or something from the Never-Ending Story. But welcome to the show. thank you so much for being here with us. We have some more news to share with you, and then we will do some Parashare at the end of the show, including we'll round out with a couple of the Christmas stories that have been sent to me. So it'll be like a new little tradition. We can all gather around, eat some hot nuts.
What?
And chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Right.
Dave Schrader telling your ghost stories, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. So why? Because I said so, and I'm in control. So shut up, people. Shut up!
Jeez.
A horrifying ghost has been captured, Tim. Not just any old horrifying ghost, but a horrifying ghost in a hospital gown is claimed to have been captured on camera at a creepy old Welsh asylum. The woman who filmed it claims even skeptics are baffled by the sighting. Just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any weirder, a woman claims she captured a creepy paranormal figure in an abandoned hospital. Kaylee Love from Swansea filmed the footage during a walkthrough of a former mental asylum in South Wales about 2 months ago. In the video, Kaylee describes the rundown and rubble-strewn hospital in detail, seemingly unaware that she's being watched. After exploring the crumbling site, she uploads the footage to her YouTube channel, Love to Investigate, where she posts her investigations into reportedly haunted locations. However, it wasn't until weeks later, with the help of an eagle-eyed viewer, she said that the true horror of what she had captured came to the light of day. Kaylee said, I received a message from a subscriber informing me of what I've been missing during the footage itself. Upon reviewing the footage and the screenshots of the evidence, it became apparent I had caught something of a paranormal nature, she said. The video shows Kaylee making her way down a corridor and panning the camera from left to right before the lens hovers over a doorway at the end of the hall. A shape, which Kaylee describes as the figure of a lady with black hair who seems to be dressed in an old-fashioned hospital gown, looms in the doorway before disappearing. I pan the camera down out of view. As I come back up again, you can witness the same figure walking to the right-hand side and disappearing into the wall, she added. I think it just walks into the room, but wall, room, whatever. Kaylee, who has investigated the paranormal for 5 months, Tim. 5 months.
Wow.
So, yeah, she said she occasionally explores abandoned old buildings. I wasn't expecting this to turn into a haunting capture, given the fact that it's broad daylight, she said. The one time I wasn't actively seeking any paranormal evidence is the time it presents itself. Kaylee would not disclose the exact location of the asylum to protect it from vandalism. However, she exclaimed a few skeptics have watched the footage and are baffled. I felt I was being watched the whole time I was there, and, well, the evidence just proves I was right to experience those feelings as I was being, she said. As I was being, I don't really understand that, but I do have that video footage up. So you can go to darknessradio.com, click on the news tab, and you'll be able to watch this story unfold before your eyes, and it is a pretty cool piece of video. I will give you that, Tim.
Right on.
Now, here's a question a lot of us have. Can dogs see ghosts? Well, let's see what Giovanna Mangarelli has to say about this, Tim.
All right.
If you got a dog, chances are they exhibit some strange behaviors once in a while. Is it because dogs can see ghosts or something? I don't know where that came from, Tim.
I have no idea either.
And obviously we know the accent is more like this. I'm sure that as long as you have a dog, you've seen that they exhibit some unusual behaviors every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
From playing piano to sniffing their own butts. This may include perking up their ears when they hear something, but we don't. Barking at nothing. Staring at a particular area in the house for no apparent reason. Whatever it may be, sometimes dogs can be weird. But again, that's why we love them. But we may not know exactly why. As much as we'd like to believe that dogs have this uncanny sixth sense in order to see the paranormal and sense other such things like that, there's really no such proof to prove otherwise, according to this author. The director of the AKC Family Dog Program, Dr. Mary Birch, says that she had many dog owners reach out to her and say that at times their dogs will just stop dead in their tracks when walking around the house, only to later find out that the somebody had died in that very spot While there may not be specific proof of this, there is something that may be the cause of such odd behaviors. Let's say a dog seems oddly attracted to a random item around the house. Well, according to Dr. Birch, dogs may feel some sort of attachment to such items that may have previously belonged to a deceased family member that they loved very much and were very close to. Another scientific explanation to the dog's such odd behaviors could be because their field of vision is much wider than ours, being able to see things at a much further distance than we do. Maybe something far away from them spooked them. Who knows? All we know is that dogs definitely are much smarter than humans, whether we're willing to admit it or not. That's what this article says. I would like to say that if somebody died in the house and died on that spot, your dog may not be sensing the ghost, but maybe smelling the breakdown of decay that took place in that spot.
That could be.
I mean, that's what cadaver dogs do.
Yeah.
Well, but I've had the carpet shampooed since then, Dave. See, I brought in a professional. Well, sometimes it seeps below into the foam padding. Sometimes it even seeps down to the floorboards. And all you're doing is a topical fix. So that could be why your dog stops in certain spots. Could be that the dog is also stopping and cocking their head and looking up at the ceiling because what they're hearing is sirens blocks away that you're not able to hear.
And there's other sounds too, maybe even right outside the house that they're hearing as well.
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactamundo, as Arthur Fonzarelli would tell us if he were here, Tim.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
All right. The History Channel is set to examine the unexplained in a new paranormal series called The Proof is Out There. History Channel is launching a new series called The Proof is Out There. I don't know if that's how they do it, but I think that would sell better, don't you? To grab attention. This week, tune into the History Channel for The Proof is Out There. Taking an in-depth look at incredible videos of unexplained phenomena and mysterious moments. Hosted by veteran TV journalist Tony Harris, each half-hour episode will explore and analyze a single story and the unique footage tied to it. Think people seemingly immune to lightning, a 50-foot snake, apocalyptic sounds in a man's backyard, enigmatic creatures or UFOs that split and dive underwater, with clips of found footage, still images, and audio recordings sourced from private citizens and government agencies. The Proof is Out There uses the latest technology, rigorous authentication techniques, and cutting-edge analytic processes to separate the fantastic from the fake. Harris and his team of experts and investigators will examine each video in question in an attempt to make compelling revelations and conclusions surrounding a few of the most debated videos and public images ever shared. The Proof is Out There is produced by History Channel by 6 West Media Group. It premieres January 5th at 10 p.m. on the History Channel.
You know why or who that isn't going to go over with? That little, the proof is out there.
What?
People who are hard of hearing or use hearing aids.
Wow. So
well, no, I mean,
alienating them?
Well, it's the frequency, because the proof is out there. Isn't heard by that register on a hearing aid, or people who are hard of hearing. They're going to go, what?
Oh. Or maybe it's even more clear and concise.
No, it's not.
The proof is out there.
It's irritating.
Well, speaking, Tim, wow, just don't hold back, buddy. How do you really feel about me? Wow.
No, that whispering is irritating, especially if you're, across a room and somebody, you hear, coming up on the proof is out there. And you're like, what? What's the name of the show?
Damn it, what? Well, Tim, since we're talking about kind of debunking famous footage, I got to tell you, this is an intriguing aspect. That Pentagon leaked UFO sighting, there may be an answer for it. So bear with me on this. Okay. It's strange. It's weird. Part of me says, oh, yeah. Other part of me says no. Leaked photos from the Pentagon purportedly showing a UFO over the Atlantic have been questioned by online sleuths who think the object was nothing more than a stray balloon. Sounds stupid? Well, the UFO sighting caused a stir earlier this month when photos from a Pentagon UFO task force were leaked. At first glance, the images appear to show a mysterious silvery object snapped from inside the cockpit of a fighter jet. The photo was taken by the pilot of an FA-18 fighter who caught the anomaly on his personal cell phone. And according to a report published by the U.S. Defense Department's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, otherwise known as UP. The UFO was seen hovering some 35,000 feet over the Atlantic on the U.S. East Coast. Since the revelation was made, conspiracy theorists have flooded the internet, Tim, with claims that ETs are here among us. One Twitter user said, "Man, the Pentagon pretty much confirmed the existence of UFOs this year, and none of my friends seem to care." Another person said, "The strangest part of 2020 is that the Pentagon directly confirmed that UFOs exist, and nobody's talking about it." Earlier this year, the Pentagon officially published a video of U.S. Navy pilots pursuing an unidentified aerial phenomena, another term for UFO, which shook the UFO enthusiast community. After the latest leak, Nick Pope, who formerly investigated UFOs for the UK's Ministry of Defense, said, "These revelations are extraordinary and give the public a genuine peek behind the curtain when it comes to how the U.S. government is handling the UFO issue." What this new information does is confirm the U.S. government is taking the UFO phenomena more seriously than ever before. I anticipate further revelations shortly. However, online sleuths have been hard at work to decipher the identity of the supposed UFOs. Okay, Tim, now here's where you're going to go down the rabbit hole with me for a few moments. Okay, and I'm going to send you this picture so that as we talk, you can see what they see. Okay?
All right.
Here we go. Are you ready? Whew. Here's the story, Tim. A group of Reddit users is now convinced the UFO in question is a balloon shaped like the comic book hero Batman. A post shared to the Reddit forum R UFOs has compared the object to a triangular balloon from a Batman balloon bouquet bundle that can be bought online from various vendors. The Reddit post reads, "Update, R. David Egger pointed me toward this balloon. Created a 3D mesh with deformation and proper position and lighting. The proportions are exact." One person replied to the post, "It looks like the balloon, but not that balloon." Now, scroll down and look at that. So about halfway down, you're going to see like what looks like an ad for the Batman balloon. Let me know when you see it.
I'm trying to, but all these ads are popping up.
Yeah. Okay. It's a $14 Batman balloon bouquet.
Yeah.
Do you see the Batman balloon?
Again,
now, it's not actually in the shape of Batman, but it's in this kind of winged, scalloped-shaped balloon.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yep.
You see it? Now scroll down to the close-up. It's right below it.
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
Damn it, that's pretty good.
That is. That's pretty close.
That's unbelievably close.
Yeah.
So now I don't know that this necessarily matches up with the UFO footage caught earlier because that's at the top of this article, and that thing's moving. It's hauling. They're trying to keep it targeted.
But so yeah, shape-wise, it's dead on. But
right now, this might be the footage, the photograph taken by the pilot from his plane using his cell phone. So that very well could be. I don't know that this is necessarily the same Pentagon footage, but it's pretty crazy. Where can we see it, Dave? Well, Tim, I'm glad you asked. If you go to darknessradio.com, click on the news tab, you'll see today's date, December 23rd. And once you get there, you'll find that there are links to all of the news stories that have photographs or video evidence for you to review and see for yourself. Why, Tim? Because I love these people, and it's the holidays, so I want them to go see it. Now, the problem is Mylar balloons don't go above 2,400 meters or 8,000 feet due to losing lift. Under special cold circumstances, they can go higher, but even then, they would not go above 12,000 feet. The Pentagon photo has been previously described as potentially showing alien or non-human technology, although more terrestrial scenarios were also offered. The Pentagon also acknowledged the existence of its UFO task force this summer, stating it was investigating any incursions by unauthorized aircraft into the U.S. training ranges and designated airspace. So go look at the article, see the pictures for yourself, and hopefully you'll see that and not, in memoriam for Dave Schrader because of my surgery today. Hopefully that is not up.
It's nothing's going to happen, bud. Here's, I have an interesting theory for you. Should you choose to want to hear it? Okay. The Pentagon has been incredibly open this entire year, if not the last let's call it the last year, but let's consider the circumstances. And yes, people haven't really digested it at all, but let's consider pandemic, election year, politics in general. People have been absorbed by the world around them, and they really haven't put much stock in the stuff that the Pentagon's been putting out, because real life has taken the forefront. And I don't think people really put stock in this because they don't consider it much of real life. I mean, we talk about it in kind of a quizzical nature.
Right.
But until, an alien lands on the front lawn of the White House and takes a picture with the president.
Well, I think that's going to take a while.
Yeah, it doesn't, And
I'm not saying because of who our current president is, but the political environment's a little terse right now. So I think the aliens would wait
here's the prediction. And this is I truly do believe this, is that this free flow of information now stops with the new administration. I don't think you see it now. I think the reason you got this free flow of information, and it's been in the news recently. I mean, even the story that we read last week about President Trump finding out from the Israelis about the fact that there were aliens, and he was ready to disclose, but he was stopped. The fact that he formed Space Force, the fact that it seemed like he was alarmed that there was this alien presence and he wanted to do something about it. I think, Joe Biden has been there before. He's had 2 terms where he probably knew about an alien presence. It's old hat for him. And I think he slowly closes this chapter of open disclosure, and I think it just goes away.
Well, we'll have to see how it unfolds. But you heard Tim. He made his predictions here.
Yeah, I think it goes away.
All right. We're almost at time to share some Parashare stories. But first, Tim, a recent YouTuber in his 20s discovered a dead body while ghost hunting an old abandoned location. According to YTN News, on December 15th, 2 individuals, including the YouTuber, found a body lying in a room of an abandoned house in Hanagudong in Wanzhou City in Gangwon province at around 3 a.m., and they called the police. The body, believed to be a man between ages of 40 and 60, was discovered due to severe decomposition. Police are reportedly sending a forensic team to block off the scene for investigation. The abandoned house wasn't inhabited for years, and the YouTuber told police he had visited the house to make contact about haunted houses and record any ghost or paranormal activity. The police believe there is no criminal suspicion, such as murder. However, the police plan to request an autopsy from the National Forensic Service to identify the body and its cause of death. How creepy is that? You go into an old building and there's a decaying body right there?
That's creepy.
I want to know if anybody else is still using Randonautica, or now because of the cooler weather, have people given up on it?
It's a good question.
Yeah. If you have, and you're finding weird stuff, because I have people asking me about that all the time, just let me know. So curiouser and curiouser. But, Tim, we have more creepy creatures to talk about. A night trekker claims he saw the Bukit Timah monkey man.
Really?
Some night trekking enthusiasts in Singapore are claiming that they caught a glimpse of the fabled Bukit Timah monkey man. Timah. How do you say that?
Timah.
Timah. According to urban legend and strictly within the realms of cryptozoology, the BTMM looks like a monkey, but it's bipedal. It is thought to be about 1 meter to 2 meters in height and lives in Bukit Timah Nature Reserve. Night Trekker believes he saw the BTMM. Night Trekker, that's a good superhero name.
It is, yeah.
Beware me, for I am the Night Trekker. A post on the Night Raiders Facebook page on December 16th, 2020 mentioned that an equipment specialist caught the site of the BTMM. The specialist, Alfie, nobody named Alfie is a specialist in anything, Tim.
Well, Burt Bacharach songs.
Yeah. Was one with the group at the nature reserve testing equipment that can capture paranormal activity. The photos were supposedly taken in split seconds just as the BTMM was spotted under a big tree. The post said, The photos were taken sometime this year. The exact venue, time, and date are not being revealed. Elfie said this BTMM is really huge. I hate when I have big BTMMs, Tim.
Oh, in the morning, especially after coffee.
Mm-hmm. However, at the end of the post, it is acknowledged that the existence of BTMM remains unverified. Whether you guys think that this photo is genuine or not, it's for your own opinion and your own imagination. It's just imagination. The big monkey, Timmy, man.
Timmy?
They go back as far as World War II. Between 1942 and 1945, Japanese soldiers in Singapore supposedly saw the creature. In more recent times, people in Singapore not only saw the creature, but supposedly even made contact. Fact is, I have a child with one, Tim.
What?
One account related by a taxi driver recounted how a collision occurred between a taxi and the BTMM, resulting in the creature getting injured and running off. Seems the creature was playing Pokemon Go at the time, Tim, and did not see the car.
Whoops.
Yeah. Well, Tim, they may have the Timmy Beast, but Keystone, South Dakota will not be denied, my friend.
Aww.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, Skunk Ape, the Yahweh, the hairy people, Tim. The as it's referred to in different parts of the world.
I think you just swore in Bigfoot language.
Whatever you may call him or her, popularity has skyrocketed, and Keystone residents were more than happy to welcome the creature of many names to a town this weekend. The Keystone Chamber of Commerce and Dahl Chainsaw Art joined forces for a Bigfoot bash and to measure the world's largest Bigfoot sculpture. Jarrett Dahl began working on it in October, and with the help of crew from Kentucky, was able to complete his art in roughly 8 days. The statue is made from Black Hills ponderosa pine, cedar, and cottonwood. A few years ago, I got the idea from a local guy to carve a much smaller Bigfoot. I've had a really good response. It's actually been probably one of the most popular pieces here. So that's kind of where I got the idea, said Jarrett Dahl, owner of Dahl Chainsaw Art. The Keystone Chamber used Bigfoot as an opportunity to display all the city has to offer. With the addition of the Yeti, the city now has the largest wooden Bigfoot sculpture in the world. So today we did the measuring, and he's exactly 22.8 feet from sitting on his butt to the top of his head. He should be the world's largest wooden chainsaw sculpture of Bigfoot, added Robin Pladson with the Keystone Chamber of Commerce. Getting in on the craze, shops in Keystone carried a variety of Bigfoot paraphernalia, and the Chamber is hoping to host more Bigfoot events in the future. I think this would be a good time for us to revisit the Bigfoot call, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
You know, let's do that right now. Let's just stop and enjoy this little audio tidbit from about 7-8 years ago. Tim and I reviewing the Bigfoot call.
Hey everybody, it's Dave and Tim from Darkness Radio. Listen, we've got a lot of great listeners out there, and you guys are always sending in cool little gifts. So we thought we were going to do a review on a brand new product. I mean, this is a pretty cool and exciting product because you know us. We love the paranormal, and we have heard every version of the Bigfoot call from how many guests over the years, you think?
Oh, tens, dozens.
Dozens of different versions of the call. And right now, for those of you Bigfooters out there that would like to do it, but you're a little intimidated to let go with the whoops of your very own, they've created this, the Bigfoot call. How do you like that, Tim? Right there. Can you see it?
No.
The Bigfoot call.
Oh, the Bigfoot call.
Created by Alley Oop. So, should we give this a shot?
Yeah, here,
All right.
I'll hold this. And you,
all right, let's, so we're going to take off the bubble wrap.
There you go.
Let's, I want to make sure we follow. Ooh, look, it's got a nice necklace. So I can wear it around my neck, Tim. This is going to be helpful for all the times that I go outside and hunt for Bigfoot.
Well, I don't think you ever go outside.
Let me just put this on because I want to make sure I get the full effect.
Do it from your window.
Because according to the front, that's how the kid's got it. He's got it right up. Let me see if we can do this. If we got it right there. See how he's got it to his face? That's how the important thing. Tim, where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, now it says there's two things that we can do on here, Tim.
Okay.
We can growl.
Ooh.
Which is gently blowing into the mouthpiece to create a low-pitched Bigfoot growling sound. Because that'd be intimidating. I might even use this maybe in the neighborhood when like a rogue dog comes approaching me looking like he wants to eat me.
Right.
Maybe I should give him a low Bigfoot growl. And then we offer the shriek.
Ooh.
The shriek, forcibly blowing into the mouthpiece to create a shrieking Bigfoot yell that's sure to wake up any Bigfoot from his slumber. So in case I'm in the mood for a little love, we can mate and shriek with that. So first of all, imagine, if you will, dog rapidly approaching me, Tim. Right. Ooh,
Yeah,
it's a mean little Chihuahua
it
dog.
It really is, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give him a low-pitched Bigfoot growling sound.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Tell me if this would terrify you if you were a dog.
Okay.
Be careful, kids. Ready?
Excuse me. Let me
try
what
this.
was that? Okay.
Ready? Okay, here comes the low, menacing growl
All right,
of a
go ahead.
Bigfoot.
Go ahead. What?
I don't know that that's really the menacing sound, but maybe the shriek is more impressive.
Probably. Okay.
Because when you're trying to get from one end of the forest to the other,
Right.
You want to let go with it. You want to screech. You want to scream.
Okay.
So I'm going to blow Bigfoot now and try.
What? You're gonna what?
I'm going to blow into my Bigfoot
Okay.
and try to get my lady love Bigfoot from across the field.
Okay.
All right.
Let me brace
hear
myself. I'm gonna
So
brace
you can imagine our long flowing hair as we run in slow motion to one another after I blow Bigfoot's. What do you call it? A Bigfoot call.
I can't run anywhere after I blow something like that. Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
Okay.
This is for my lady love Bigfoot.
All right.
Yeah, girl. This call goes out to you. It's Let's try it again. Maybe I must be doing something wrong.
Here you go.
Right.
One more time.
All right, that's the shriek. Let's hear the low growl.
Okay. All right.
The shriek? The low growl. Now listen, I'm not Eric Altman. And you are no Lauren Coleman.
I am not. No.
But I would say this is probably a fail as a Bigfoot call. I'm not feeling it. I think our good friends at alleyOoptoys.com might have made an alley oops with this. So think before you buy, folks. And this is from Tim, Dave, and Little Bigfoot Head.
A little what?
A little Bigfoot head. It's a little Bigfoot. Did you ever want to get a little Bigfoot head?
I saw that movie, actually. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. That's our quick little product review. You might want to just save the money. Send it to us. We need it more. Thanks a lot.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. Perfect gift for the holiday season, Tim.
I have my emergency Bigfoot one here right now, just in case we need it. Right? Yeah.
Well, but we've just played that awesome audio.
No, I know. Yeah.
You and I.
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. This one's much more technical, I guess.
Sounds gassy in your version.
This one? Yeah. This one is him on the toilet. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to squeeze out a morning constitution.
I thought that was a walk.
What is?
Morning constitution is taking a walk, not pooping. Well, or maybe the way you do it, I don't know.
The way he does it, I mean,
I guess.
Well, that's something else right there. That's
yeah. All right. Well, we're at the part of the show, kids. Everybody got your hot cocoa? Yeah. All right. Come on, gather around. Old Uncle Dave and Uncle Timmy are here to delight you with stories of the supernatural ilk. Theater of the Mind returns very soon, kids. We're about 2 weeks out of Theater of the Mind. Some of you have done the task we put forth. We asked you to tell us your paranormal encounters. Write it as a nice little narrative in good paragraph form. Hit that spell check. Just try it. It's a good thing. It's free. You can use it. And then send those stories to us, and we may feature them in a future episode of Darkness Radio Supernatural News, where we'll read your story. Tim adds beautiful sound effects. I dramatically read the stories. I'll do that today, Tim. I'll dramatically read so they get a flavor for it. You can add some sound effects if you feel so inclined.
Oh, okay. You mean like just
yeah, you just make them up. You're good. Yeah, you've got the ability to on your feet think through these sound effects, Tim. Okay. So I'll read some stories and then we'll wrap up with 2 Christmas themed paranormal stories. How about that? Is everybody happy? Yay, Uncle Dave. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Here's our first story, Tim. Not right. Christmas. We're going to get to that.
Okay.
But the author of said article did send me a picture that they wanted me to make sure that I shared with you, Tim, to prove that your point may be more on point than I want to believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I just sent you that picture. We'll talk about it at the end of the article.
Okay.
At the end of the story.
All right.
Here we begin.
Okay.
Dear Dave and Tim, I'd like to share a creepy story with you that originally made my blood run cold. and made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Boing! I'll start with a little background information. I work for a small family-run transport company here in the UK. My father runs the business, and my brother-in-law, and myself are the drivers. My dad's best friend, Kevin, was the garage yard foreman, and we all keep in contact with each other through company-issued mobile phones. Kevin sadly passed away last year with pneumonia and is still sadly missed to this day. My father even made a shrine to him in one of the chairs in the workshop. Anyway, fast forward a couple of months, and my brother's birthday was coming up, and I was expecting a call from his girlfriend to arrange a surprise. The phone rang later that afternoon, and I think my heart stopped for a second as I looked at the screen, and it said Kevin. I didn't want to answer, but curiosity got the better of me. It was my brother's girlfriend. Her phone was broken, so my father let her use the now spare one. I'll never forget that feeling of thinking I was being called by the dead. I hope this made you smile as I can laugh about it today. Yours, Steve in England. P.S. I've attached an image for Tim to prove that his theory is real. There it is, Tim. Do you see it?
I do see it, yeah.
Skynet Worldwide Express. It's a trucking company, Tim, not an evil overlord company that's going to be hell-bent on bringing about the end of the world.
Well, it says Skynet.
Hi, Dave and Tim. That's how this next one begins. I love the show. In the blood-curdling scream episode you recently aired, I believe that's a fox. I hear them all the time around here in suburban Northern Virginia. Here's a sample clip. You can find many others. Let me play that sample clip now, Tim.
Sure.
Ah! Ah, I'm a fox! Ah! Very compelling evidence.
It's so clear. I mean, and the fact that it knows English. I mean, it's amazing.
I'm a fox!
I had no idea that they had Rosetta Stone out in the wild.
I was wondering when people were going to say that because you recall my own story from a few years ago when I was on the air with the other show I did Monday through Friday.
Yeah, right.
I heard what sounded like a woman being beaten and screaming for help.
Right. Yeah.
And it turned out to be mating foxes. Mm-hmm. So I read that story last week hoping somebody was going to call me out on the fox deal.
Right.
So I still believe that it was a woman's scream, but because it doesn't sound like the same screams I heard. Yeah. And I'd like to believe to be true and that Tim is completely wrong, that it's something mechanical. But Paul, the author of this email, continues, so sorry to debunk that one for you, Dave. You didn't. How dare you, Paul? I'm on TV. Don't ever question me. Anyway, here's my spooky story. About 20 years ago, my ex-wife and I were in Colombia visiting her mom. There was a priest at the house as well, a family friend. And we were just sitting around the living room chatting when my wife suddenly complained that she felt dizzy and wanted to lay down in her room for a moment. On the way there, she fainted. We rushed over and she mentioned that her left arm was burning. We took a look and there, etched into her forearm, was what looked like a coffin with a cross on it. I'm not a religious person, but she and her family are very devout Catholics. None of us, including the priest, knew what to make of this strange figure on her arm, as this was before cell phones with cameras were prevalent. We didn't take a picture. As she was laying on the floor, I looked at the tiles to see if maybe they had made an impression on her arm, but they didn't look anything like the pattern that was formed on her arm. I doubt she would have done this to herself, so we were at a loss for the cause of this. We helped her to the bed, where she proceeded to take a nap. Literally, just a minute or so later, she calls us into her room, saying her back is itching. We took a look, and there we saw a small of her back. Looked like clearly etched letters, but they were backwards. We took her to the mirror to see if they spelled anything. They were indeed shaped like the letters, as they were right ways. Unfortunately or fortunately, they didn't spell any particular word. I honestly don't even remember what the letters were, just 4 or 5 random letters. But they were well-formed and very recognizable as letters, not just random shapes. Again, these were on her back in a place she could not reach. None of us knew what was going on here, but her mom and the priest could come up is that they believed that there was someone who died in the apartment prior to them moving in. But I don't have any evidence to confirm that. Anyway, I wish I could have taken some pictures, but that idea just didn't come into our mind at the time. From my scientific perspective, I've heard of similar things that can happen to a human body naturally. Seems pretty unlikely, very weird, and I have no explanation, but found it fascinating. I enjoy all things paranormal and am open-minded to other realities beyond what we see and hear every day. This was certainly a great example of that. That's my story, and I'm loving the Holzer Files, by the way. That comes from Paul. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. And your Fox beliefs. Dear Dave and Tim, listening to your show from December 16th and what was supposed to be a scream from the living room, I have to agree with Tim, and he'll hate me for it. Feel free to cue the Terminator soundtrack.
Oh, here, I can do that. Wait. I may actually have it here. Hold on.
Wow, look at you. All right. Feel free to cue the Terminator soundtrack. My impression is that the voice is neither female nor is it uttered by a spirit. At first, I thought it might be an animal scream or perhaps a bark. Something along the lines of a female fox. I think he meant female fox. Didn't hit that spell check. During the second replay, I realized that the sound was vaguely familiar but could not make it quite out. Try that again. I realized that the sound was vaguely familiar but would not quite make its origin known. But then Tim talked about it, and it suddenly hit me. It does sound like the beginning of an alarm or alert that has warped by the audio source it originated from. Maybe this is another case of Alexa or similar source acting up. Maybe it's a security system being weird. But as far as I'm concerned, this is an artificial sound, either mimicking a human voice at a wrong speed or pitch, or an alarm sound at a wrong pitch. In any case, I would say this is AI acting up. So sorry, Tim. So that's it, Tim. Believes it is nothing more than AI.
I knew it.
Yep. All right, Tim. Christmas is upon us. We're just days away. Tomorrow, make sure that you join us for our very, very special holiday program, Tim. As we all gather around with the ones that we love, and we sing songs of Christ and newborn children, and we give thanks for the people around us and the love that we share every day. There's no better way to share that than listening to Darkness Radio, a demon-haunted land with Monica Black. Join us tomorrow as we enter a demon-haunted land, witches, wonder doctors, and the ghosts of the past in post-World War II Germany with guest Monica Black. That's our little gift from us to you. So make sure you tune in and check that out tomorrow. All right, Tim, shall we read our Christmas stories?
Sure.
All right. You ready with a little sound effects, Tim?
I guess so.
Make them with your mouth. Make them with your hands.
That's what she said. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. First one's very short, Tim.
Okay.
That is what she said. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This comes to us from our friend Ernest.
Okay.
Know what I mean, Vern? It was a Christmas morning, and as the kids were tearing through their gifts, I sipped my coffee. I sipped my coffee.
Oh, wait.
And looked out the sliding glass doors of the rare, fresh fallen snow. I spied something that didn't belong. It was between the two barns, and I say out loud, "What is that?" It clearly stood out on the white wonderland. It was red, bright red. The kids ran to the window. I say the kids ran to the window. As I grabbed my boots and coat and venture out with my faithful Rottweiler, Axel. As I approach the red object, I think to myself, no way. On top of the snow, notice I said on top, not half covered, let alone buried, was a Santa hat. There were no footprints in the snow, no animal tracks around in case one could have carried it to drop it off. Axel sniffed and sniffed around as though confused. It was as if it fell from the sky. I picked up the hat, to show the kids as their faces were pressed against the glass. My oldest, who thought she was too old for Santa, her jaw dropped. My youngest squealed.
I don't know.
You tell Uncle Chick is not a parent. To this day, I have no idea, but it made the best Christmas ever. Well, kids don't squeal like a window pane. They squeal like, ee! I don't know what kid ever squealed like that either, to be honest with you.
Well, you hit them hard enough, they'll squeal like any way you want them to.
Wow. Okay. Jeez, Joan
saying.
Crawford. It's the holidays. Okay, our final story is here, Tim.
Okay.
Hello, Dave and Tim.
Hello.
I have this Christmas ghost story I'd like to pass on to everyone, if you have the time. I really don't have anyone to pass this on to except my wife, Tammy, who just loves Christmas. Once upon a time, I was living in Billings, Montana, which is beautiful, but much colder than you think. My family was living in California at the time, so I took a new engineering position there that, as you would know, is the right way. I don't know what that means. Needless to say, I was there for quite a long time, and it was almost Christmas in a few days. I'd had a rough week, missing home, figuring out the new challenges, etc. I had to park about a block or two every day, rain, sleet, or snow. Today, it was snow. I drove to work about 10 miles as it was snowing, across the Yellowstone Bridge, and, as my luck would have it, had to park 2 blocks away. Now I get out to walk all the way to the door and spend most of my day in a new job trying to impress my new employer, all the while being wet from snow. Now, I'm a California kid. What do I know about an endless winter that seems to linger in Billings? I turned off the key, opened the squeaking door. That was not all that thrilled about being opened. I plunked my boots down in about 8 inches of snow and slammed the door shut. Now the walk, more of a hike, really. Each step consisted of raising my foot up above the snow and some crunching down and some new fresh powder. Now I know what snowshoes are for. Remember, I'm from California, Pismo Beach originally, and this was a long way from it. The wind never stopped whipping the snow in all directions. It left me to wonder, how in the hell does it ever make it to the ground? I finally got to the office door, cold, wet, and miserable, clapping my gloved hands together to ward off frostbite. Or rigor mortis, whichever came first, and stomping my boots to shake off the snow. Work was work, as they say, but that day, because of the wind and excess of snow and my being dumb enough to be in it, my sniffles grew into a wonderful and dripping cold. Hey, you need a tissue? All the rest of the day, I dreaded the walk back to the car after having to go round 2 with Jack Frost. By the way, summer there is August 13th from 3:30 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, we can relate.
Yeah, time came to leave. I bundled up again. Most of the wet had dried, but still damp. Taking a deep breath, I opened the door to go out, totally expecting to get slapped in the face with the wind and snow again. Nope. What? No. There was nothing but fresh snow, sunshine, and birds singing. The air was crisp and clean with a very light breeze. I wasn't ready for this. My walk to and from the car included passing several Victorian houses, all decorated for Christmas, with each yard surrounded by iron fencing. I was feeling miserable, even though the weather was playing tricks. All I wanted to do was get to the car, turn on the heater, and go home. I was grouchy. My nose was running. I was cold and wet and just hating the whole season. As I walked through the last block, trying to just ignore everything and not having much success with it, I saw an old man walking towards me. He was actually loving the weather, which even made me more grouchy. I was glad that I didn't have to interact with anyone during my death march to the car. Dun, 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 dun. That seemed appropriate for a death march, didn't it, Tim?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
But this guy, something told me it was coming. First, it was his walk, just as spry as a kid and with a happy gait in his step. Then I noticed as he came closer a cane, complete with gold tip. That's what she said. Uh-huh. He wasn't even using it, more like marching. He was wearing a great coat, heavy but unbuttoned, black boots, a red vest, and a white shirt, and even a nice Homburg hat. If you're starting to guess, it was a deep red with a small white feather. We're getting closer, and I just know that I have to say something to him as we passed. And in my current state, I'd rather not, but damn it, we're the only two walking on this sidewalk, crunching snow as we go along. And I just wasn't raised that way. To make matters worse, according to my cold and dripping nose, he did look like Santa Claus. Even had the Victorian house backdrop behind him as he walked, like he was leading a marching band. As he came within 5 feet of me, before I could say a word, bouncing with his cane, he chortled, yes, chortled, "Merry Christmas, young man. Have a wonderful holiday," and kept on his snowy march. I was about to mumble something back, but I was so taken by surprise by the sight of this old man, his outfit, and what he said, that he passed me as quick as a wink. Feeling bad that I didn't wish him anything back, I turned around, don't really know the why of it exactly, but the Merry Christmas was forming in my mouth as I was shaking from the cold. Just as I was going to say something, I noticed he wasn't there. Wait a damn minute. He was there. I can see his footprints in the snow, but he's not there. The footprints were... He wasn't. I was dumbfounded. Was it my cold? No. Anything else? No. I couldn't wrap my brain around what I just experienced. All I could see were the footprints, the Victorian houses. That was it. His voice was still in my ears. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, young man. Have a wonderful holiday. I laughed inside to myself that it must have been a Christmas ghost. That laughter turned into another and then another. Then finally I let it out, just standing there laughing at what just happened. It did happen, didn't it? All I could hear, other than me, was the breeze. I say all I could hear other than me was the breeze. I was still giggling about it when I opened the old squeaky door. And I slammed it shut. Turned on the heater to try to figure out the whole event. I never really did. But I did feel better from it. Better about a lot of things, really. And as silly as it sounds, I felt more Christmassy from it. Well, that happened 40 years ago. I'm back in California now, warm and mostly away from snow. I just keep the memory, and it revisits me every December. I can recall it like it just happened, and it reminds me of no matter how bad or bleak things are during the holidays, that a well-placed blessing of Merry Christmas can turn a moment around, or a lifetime. That's my Christmas ghost story, and I wish you and all of yours a very Merry Christmas from me and my Christmas ghost. And that is from Nicholas K. Thank you, Nicholas. And thank you all for tuning in to the show. We wish you all the happiness in the world that you desire. Tune in tomorrow. Our special little gift to you is a brand new episode of Darkness Radio. We'll be back next week with True Crime Tuesday and brand new episodes of Darkness Radio. As we slide into our 15th anniversary, we hope that you'll be here with us to share that show. Send in your emails. Let us know some of your favorite guests, favorite moments on the show, favorite things. We want to hear them all. Dave@darknessradio.com. That's where you send that email, and we'll feature them on an upcoming episode. Merry Christmas, Tim.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to all. And to all, a good night.